Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can always hop on to the Miguel and Holly YouTube or Miguel and Holly Facebook page and watch it go down live, or you can listen to it, obviously, when it's on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts around noon. And make sure to please spread the word. Tell one extra person, hey, have you listened to Miguel and Holly Uncensored or Miguel and Holly Full Show podcast or Blown Off? Check us out. Thank you.
Yeah.
How was everybody's weekend?
Good. Busy.
Fun.
Fun. Yes. Fun. Good. Busy. Not long enough.
Yes.
Everything.
I am on the struggle bus this morning. I'm not going to lie. I
felt
am just
very sleepy all show. And that's not, I mean, it was just more than usual. I don't know. But I
Yes.
mean, this weekend was just kind of jam-packed though. I mean, I got a new car.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you leasing or did you buy it?
Oh no, I'm leasing. Yeah. Leasing. That's my MO these days. Like
Yeah.
I did that thing where I bought a car back in like 2009 and then I had it. I think it took like 5 years to pay the thing off. And then I'm like, now I don't have a car payment. I had that car for about 10 years. But the problem was like, cause I was like, this is the benefit, right? You have a car, then you can use that car to trade in to get another one, but you don't have to pay.
Right.
And then the whole thing started falling apart. Like the roof fully rusted. It was just coming apart at the seams. And then I only ended up getting like $1,000 for it. And I'm like, tell me again what I was doing there. So I'm just a lease queen now.
Yeah, I remember the last car that I bought was my Scion.
Was that Riley?
Yeah, Riley the Scion. Had her for
Why
a
do I
long
remember
time.
that?
Yes. Well, and then it was like that where, the car probably was only like $25,000, something like that.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
a super, actually, I think it was more like 18 or something like that. Not a super expensive car. But then like when I went to go trade it in, they were like, maybe you can get 1,500.
I know.
Like, and that's because I think it was like I went through the radio station, like just through a contact. And so they were like, well, we're going to max out what we can, give you, but it ain't a lot. And I'm like,
Now they were good cars though, because Toyota. Remember, wasn't it Jim Ray that got us this car? Both of us. We
Both
had this
of us.
friend whose dad was this old Southern gentleman who helped both of us in Panama City buy these Toyota. They had to be a Toyota.
He would not go. I remember we went to Nissan because I liked the Cube at the time. And I remember he was like, I mean, I know you want to come here and look at this Cube, but we can always go over to Toyota, Panama City Toyota.
Panama City Toyota. I told him because I used to have a Chevy when I met him, and then it was time. And it was like a Chevy Cobalt. And I was like, so can I just get another Chevy? And he was like, no. No, we're going to go to Panama City Toyota. And I was like, okay. And then when I turned in the Chevy, because he didn't come with me when I turned it in, he's like, just turn it in. We'll go to Toyota the next day or whatever. I don't know. And the Chevy people were like blown away that I was not buying another Chevy. And I'm like, but Jim Ray said I had to get a Toyota. And they're like, and finally at the end, they're like, well, just so you know, you're betraying your country.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. The
Yeah.
road trip.
So bad. And I just
Jesus.
like shuffled out of there, afraid.
My gosh. That
Yeah.
is like the most awkward. We were talking about that this weekend because Abe, we got him a car when we moved here because he had this big Ford F-150. And in our apartment in Uptown, it's a high rise. And him maneuvering that big ass truck in the tiny parking garage.
There are
Yes.
tinier parking spaces in Charlotte.
Yes, like 100%. It's just the city wasn't built thinking that cars were going to get as big as they've gotten.
Right.
And so the parking spots are so small. And so his truck, we just couldn't do it. So we got him this Volkswagen car. But I tell
Still
you
big.
what, when I know it's still big, but when that bitch goes in to negotiate, it is the most uncomfortable experience because I give Abe all the credit in the world. That bitch is a good negotiator and he does
I
not
know.
back down. And so watching him when he did his car, when we did my car, like I just sit and we were actually joking and I was like, next time it's time for me to get a car, I'm just gonna sit in the lobby and then let you
Let
be in
you
the
know
office. And so then
comfortable.
right. And so then once everything's been negotiated, I can just come in and sign whatever I need to do and then be done. Cause I just remember the poor guy, like Abe made him go back and check with the finance people like 4 times. And like the 3rd time I was like, I cannot take the pressure anymore. Like this is too much. And then when Abe was like, so you just can't go a little bit more down like that, this is all you can do, are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure if we go somewhere else. And I was like, no,
you're like, I can't listen to this, I can't listen to this. That's how I felt. But see, I really appreciate I don't know if I can say on the podcast and not,
what do you
but
mean?
I like where I got my car.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead, it's fine.
So I went to Furman Mazda in Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I've been going for my leases. I'm very loyal to them because they always treat me really well. In fact, I've been working with the same woman. This is my 3rd car that I've gotten from her now because I just keep leasing.
Nice.
And I knew that I was ready to there was a crack in the windshield. Like I was like, maybe it's time because my lease was up in September, but she had just emailed me like, oh, you have 6 months left. And I was like, maybe it's time. So I did all that negotiation work over email and text. And it, by the way, could not have been more polite and easygoing, but because I'm so sensitive to the negotiation process like you are, Miguel, I was losing my shit on Saturday morning.
Oh.
We had emailed, I had emailed her Friday and I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to turn in my CX-5 for basically another exactly like it in a different color and same price. Thank you. And then she came back on Saturday morning and was like, hey, I can do a CX-50 for about the same price in this. And I was like, but what about the CX-5? I don't. And my fiance was like, well, ask about it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they don't want me to have the CX-5. And he's like, what does that even mean? So he had to coach me through the emailing back and forth process. The amount of times I walked in and out of the kitchen and I was like, what if I say I do, and then this? And he's like, I don't know, but don't say like, don't be wishy-washy and say maybe, be like, I want this and this. And I'm like, what if she thinks I'm mad at her? So for a couple hours on Saturday morning, I was caught in that. And he's like, hey, you're doing the hard part now. You're doing the hard part now. When you go in, it's going to be all set. And he was right. Like she was like, let me get back to my GM. Let me ask. And then she got me some pricing for the CX-5, got me some pricing for the CX-50. We went back and forth about this, that, the color. And then finally, like, she's like, okay, we can do this for you. And I was like, okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And then I went in and she had it there. I did want to test drive the difference between the CX-50 versus the CX-5. And they're very similar cars, but the CX-50 is a little wider and a little lower.
It's an SUV, right?
It's an SUV, yeah.
Okay.
And it looks a little more badassy. And to me, it looks like it would cost more than the CX-5 that I had, but I got a better deal on it. And so I wanted to just drive it and see what the difference was. Not much.
Right.
You do sit a little lower, but overall, especially was it less money for me than the CX-5, I went with the 50 and I love it. And I'm just so thankful to them at Furman Mazda Brandon, because they have always treated me so well. And like the negotiation process was literally nothing. And I made it this whole like
dramatic situation.
I mean, when I walked in there though, could not be easier. Could not have been literally easier. So there's my non-paid endorsement for Furman Mazda Brandon. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, I love them. I have been working with them, but yes, they did it all with me over email and text, and I didn't even have to have that sit down craziness at the thing.
Abe is looking at getting a truck since he started back up his painting company. And so he's looking at getting a truck, and he's like, well, can you come with me? Because we're married and we share all of our finances together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought it was going to be another couple of years before I had to like go sit down and just be in that uncomfortableness. But I think once he figures out exactly what it is he wants, because he's been doing all the research, we're going to have to go. And I'm just like not looking forward to it.
I don't blame you. That's why I did it over email and text, because that was perfect for me. So I don't like sitting there and doing the haggling. And I know my people. So it's like, if you don't know them, woo, that's a whole different thing. But so yeah, so I got a new car this weekend. It's got new car smell. We celebrated our anniversary. We went out to dinner.
Where'd y'all go?
Taverna Costal.
Hmm.
It is Chef Fabio Viviani. That's what it is. I said it the wrong way. He was on Food Network. Remember he did Osteria?
Yeah.
His restaurant.
Yep.
But I realized later on that he actually had beat Bobby Flay with those meatballs that he made. So I'm like, I want to go there.
Did you try his meatballs?
We have before. I didn't get them this time. They are really great. I tried the meatballs.
His meatballs are great.
His meatballs are great. They beat Bobby Flay, okay?
He got some sturdy meatballs.
Yes, he does.
Strong meatballs to beat Bobby Flay.
Strong meatballs. So that was delicious, though. Oh my God, it was so delicious. So that was good. We had dinner with friends on Friday night. It was Scott, by the way, like formerly producer Scotty the Body. So we had dinner with them, got to catch up. And then my daughter came home. Maya came home on Sunday afternoon, which over the past 6 months to a year, she's been staying at her dad's Sunday night into Monday, which has turned into kind of a nice little ritual both for her and I. But due to circumstances today, she's off school. We couldn't do that. So she came home in the worst possible mood yesterday. And I'm like, this is why you want to stay at your dad's house on Sunday. Because she didn't want to leave. She wanted to stay with dad. She missed dad. I was like, I get it. And she had been at this festival. She was hot. She's tired. She'd been up late. I was like, just go take a shower. And you know what? Cry it out in there. And she did. And she felt better. So because I was like, I
can't deal with this right now.
No. And I'm like, it's not about me. It's about you. But like, you are being mean. So just get in the shower. Chill out.
Wash the weekend away.
And she did. And she felt better after a good cry and a good wash down. Sometimes it really does help. So that was my weekend.
Kelvin, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was a little chaotic. Friday was the drag race finale, and that was fun. We went over to our new friend's house. This is our second time going over there. And it was fun. Did not expect the winner to be Nymphia Wind. And for context, this girl, she was never in the bottom. We didn't know how she could dance or lip sync. So when it came to the finale, I didn't even think she was going to make it to the final two. I had told Miguel, I was like, oh, I don't think she's going to make it because she has a solo watch party. But that was a lie. She ended up having a watch party with the other two finalists. And we find out that she ends up making it to the final two. And I'm like, okay, well, I think Saphira's still going to win either way because her original number was fantastic.
Like that first one, when she opened the show, I was like, yes, that I was like, winner. This is the new winner of RuPaul's Drag Race for this season. I knew the moment that Saphira lost the lip sync at the end when she went and did like the little boob pat or whatever of her like breastplate, and she was just like doing that, and I'm like, that's a cheap gimmick that you do at drag brunch somewhere where like, you know, all the white girls that have never been to drag brunch, they're like, oh my God, yes. Not for the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race. I was like, and that was the moment when I was like, oh fuck, she lost it.
And what was the point of the fangs?
Yeah.
Like she looked cool.
Right.
But I didn't get what the point. She wasn't even dressed as a vampire. She was dressed in all blue.
Yeah.
So what was the point? She lost the minute that Nymphia Wind opened her coat and she dressed up as a boba tea and black balloons with helium just like went up in the air. And it was the coolest fucking thing ever. Because that's the official.
Did you put that
on my story?
I saw that on your story. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
That was the beginning. And the song was Padam Padam. So like everybody was fucking going crazy. And so the minute those balloons came out, we were like, oh.
She won.
So that was really fun. And then the next day was my brunch that I hosted. I was super nervous that a lot of people were coming. It was the first time that we hosted anything at that new spot. And it wasn't really chaotic because we prepped so much the night before. I was still a little late to my own thing. I was like showering at 12 and it started at 12.
How did this happen?
But it's fine. Everybody got late. Everybody came at like 12:45, I think, when the first person arrived. So it was fine.
I had a feeling. I mean, I'm like, since y'all are never on time, I was like, I have a feeling if we show up at like 12:01, we'll probably be the first ones there by a hot minute. So we were still getting ready by that time. So
yes, and you came right on time. Like Miguel had come right when like the drinks were starting and all that stuff. everybody ate. I thought the food was awesome. And then I started doing some of the games, and we did a couple of new ones, did a couple of ones that we've done before. And yeah, I really like incorporating games into a fun brunch. So I felt like everyone had a good time.
Yeah, Kelvin, you and Oscar, I thought y'all did a great job with people not just like standing around drinking. So if you want to describe some of the games you had, because I thought it was super fascinating. And while you do that, somebody's at the door. I have to go handle this real quick.
Oh,
Gotta handle it.
There's a bunch of videos that I have, but I haven't posted them. But the first one we always go to, and I think Jenny usually messages us on the Miguel and Holly page. She had asked me to talk about it either on the podcast or do a video. But basically, we do a shot roulette. Everybody lines up around the kitchen island. I prop up the camera, and we put a stack of cards on top of a shot glass.
Okay.
And everybody's always like, no, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to take the shot. And so the way that I ease their anxiety is I say, oh, like, what are the odds that you're going to get it? Like, it's not going to happen, right? The point of the game is to blow the cards off. And each card that you blow off, the next person might have the chance. Because, the thinner the deck, the more chances you are to completely blow off all the cards.
You get like one breath?
Yes.
Okay.
One breath, a few breaths, however many cards you want to blow off. But if you blow too hard, all the cards fall off, you have to take the shot.
Oh, so if you blow all the cards off, you take the shot.
Yes.
Got it.
So you could be as mean or as nice to the person behind you.
Got it.
So we did that about 5 rounds. I've done that before, and honestly, people are just like, no, just 2-3 rounds. That's good. We played 5 rounds, and people were having a really great time. The person that was my friend Carlos, who was very worried about taking the shot, where I told him that, he ended up doing it twice.
Taking the shot?
Yes.
Okay.
He was like, I don't want to take the shot. I was like, the odds of you happening, it's rare.
What is the shot? What was the shot of what?
Tequila.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
best. Oh my God. If I'm going to do a shot, it's going to be tequila.
It's going to be tequila.
100%.
The next game we did was cups, and it's kind of like Simon Says. We put cups in the center. You compete with somebody across from you. And I'm basically telling you like head, shoulders, knees, toes. And the minute I say cup, you have to go and grab it and snatch it. Whoever snatches it the quickest wins.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Which was really hard because I was like, I have really good reflexes, but after a couple of things of mimosas, your reflexes are not really fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I lost every single time with that. And I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
But it was such a good time. Y'all did such a great job. And the what the thing that Oscar made?
The strawberry champagne margarita.
No, the
Oh, that sounds great.
It was
I'm sorry. I have to
delicious.
do a quick thing. I'm just sending something to my fiance who needs it right now. Hold on. But I'm still listening.
the papusa.
Oh, the pupusas. Yeah.
Yes, that was really good with the slaw. What was that? What was in the slaw?
The slaw, I don't know exactly the name of it. He's gonna kill me for not remembering it. But basically, it's like cabbage and some carrots, I think, and soaked in like some vinegar, I think. And so it gives it that acidic taste, and so that's what you're supposed to put on top of your pupusa.
It was really good. I was like, ooh, y'all had some really good food. Pupusas were amazing. The drinks were flowing. But then we had to go, we were meeting friends to go to Mama Ricotta's, and we walked out of y'all's apartment, and I was like, gosh damn it. I was like, we cannot be drunk. We cannot be drunk because we're meeting these friends for dinner, and they have probably just been doing housework and stuff. And here we come after this ruckus brunch. And
yeah, that's the thing. You can't really show up to a dinner with a whole other people drunk from earlier thing.
Yeah, but we did though. And it was
wow.
but then they got on board real quick too. They were like, well, like we showed up to their house, and like they were all like dressed up nicely for Mama Ricotta's, and we had on what we had on at your brunch. So Abe had on like a juicy booty shirt, and I had on like my little loud pink flowery floral pattern, and they were like in button up, and she had on like a nice dress, and we walked in, and I was like, oh my God, we're so underdressed. And they were like, no, I think we're overdressed. So they were like, we'll meet you in the middle. So they went and changed real quick because I was
Did
like,
they live close that they could go and change?
yeah, well, we went to their house first to have drinks before we went to Mama Ricotta's. So
well, good thing somebody got changed because that is so awkward.
I thought y'all were fine. I don't know, but I was not fine, so it could be wrong.
Well, I knew Abe, like I could just tell by his eyes, and I'm like, oh, he is
glassy.
feeling, yeah. So I was like, let's get some water when we get to Adam and Sunita's house, and let's just pace ourselves. And so we had like a cocktail at their house, and then we had like wine when we got to Mama Ricotta's, and I was like, the first part of it we were fine, but then as the like night kept going on, I was like, oh, we're like loud. Like, we're those people that everyone's like,
well, you said that was gonna possibly be the case, right?
yeah. Well, it was good.
Well,
but how was the
good
rest of the
times.
weekend with your cousin, Kelvin?
Yeah.
It was great. Sunday we were, like I said, we were deflated. We ended up going to an antique shop called Sleepy Poet, and it's this massive warehouse of like tons of antique stuff. And so that was really fun. We did that Sunday in the daytime. Everything else, it was so gloomy Sunday.
Yes, it was.
It was so gloomy
and cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a fucking fake out.
Yeah.
Like I was
sorry about that.
like literally Friday we went to Optimus Hall to Billy Sundays to have a cocktail outside. And I was just like spread eagle, enjoying a lemon drop martini. And I was like,
Yes.
man, I really hope that we're done with like the 30s and 40s and it's just like
Mhm.
hot and sweaty for the rest of the summer. And then fucking Sunday, I was like, damn
It
it.
was such a mood killer.
Ah!
Like I felt sad and gloomy, and
Yeah.
I had no motivation to take her anywhere. And
You know what's really unfortunate is that sometimes, like in the past couple weeks, I've said twice, I'm like, God, I wish we could just have a rainy day, like a gloomy, like one day. Because I have that thing where I think I talked about it. It was from show prep or something, where it's like, there's a term for when you feel guilty for not doing anything if it's sunshiny out.
Mhm.
And we are right in smack dab in the middle of the most beautiful season of Florida of all time when it's like mid 70s to mid 80s, but it's not humid even a little bit. It's just hot in the sunshine and cool in the shade. And then night gets a little bit chilly and it's perfection. But sometimes I'm like, I'm from Ohio. I just want a little gloom, please. Just one day. So
one day.
I feel bad saying that though. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, I get it. It's well, and then what would have made it like okay is that if we were like just at home, but we had a surprise birthday party to go to on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that makes
So
it terrible.
I was like, oh, we gotta like get dressed. But I'm really glad we went. Just for one of our friend Ari and got to meet a bunch of people. And I did perk up because we were talking to our friend's sister and her husband who we've never met. And we were just like making small talk before he got there and we surprised him. And somebody mentioned that Abe and I were on HGTV. And so they like perked up and they were like, what? And like, you never know if people like really care or if they're just like, oh, but they were like, wait, what season and what episode? And they were like looking at like pictures and clips of it from the stuff.
So they really cared.
They really cared. And then we were talking about the wedding and just about how that time of life was just so crazy. And then they were like, well, let me see the videos and the pictures. And I'm like, are you sure? Because like, you know how like you never know if people really want to fuck into your wedding photos.
Right.
Oh my God, I know. Sometimes I even think to myself, like, people don't even want to see my child or my dog, nothing.
Right,
And I'm
right.
just like,
I'm like,
it's
you don't
fine.
have to.
That's fine.
And so like I pulled up, we were talking about for those of you that are new, our old producer Scotty, who Holly had dinner with, we had him be our flower guy where he handed out champagne and shots and drinks and stuff like that. But he surprised us by like ripping his shirt off and having our initials, studded or bejeweled on his chest.
Right.
And so we were showing them that video and they were like, oh my God, they were like so tickled. And I was like, oh yay, they care. This is cool. We have new
I know.
friends.
It's really nice. It's really nice when people just care.
I've done cool things.
Yeah,
Basically.
exactly. And so then the whole night they were like, well, y'all are famous. You're on TV. And I was like, oh my God.
That makes me so
bad.
awkward. Like I was volunteering at my kids' school's festival this weekend, and I like I don't ever say, oh, hello, I'm on the radio. Like I would never, right? Like unless someone asked me what I do for a living, I'm not saying nothing. And one guy that I had never met before was like, he was like, after probably an hour or two of volunteering together, finally he's like, so what do you do? I was like, oh, I'm a radio personality. And he was like, oh shit, you're hot shit. I was like,
no, no.
Like, how do you even respond to that?
I know,
I'm like,
no.
I'm like, no. He's like, but you have a cool job. And I'm like, I mean, yes, but I'm not, I am not hot shit.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
please
a
don't say that.
regular
Ball of
person.
anxiety.
Yes.
Right. I am an absolute puddle of mess. I'm a messy puddle. I don't know what I'm doing in life. So anyway, that's always a little bit awkward because how do you,
Right.
oh, you're so famous. And you're like,
no.
yes, I am. No, like gross. No, not. It's such I love it, but also hate it. Like it's weird.
Well, and I also get that weird, it's probably like a defense mechanism where I get this like stupid ass grin that I can't stop. And like, it's the
I've seen it.
And also, like, it's like
I've
almost
seen
to
it.
the point of laughing where you're like,
Yes. I have seen it.
I hate
And it's
it.
so
I've looked at
I
him.
know, I
and
love
been
it, but I hate it for you. I just love it for me because if someone says something, Miguel gets that stupid look where he's like,
and it's like I'm trying so hard to like relax my face muscle so I don't do it, and I'm like, no. And so that's what happens is whenever someone goes like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, radio.
I can't.
And then they're like, why are you smiling like that?
You're smiling like a little schoolgirl.
And I'm like, hee. I'm on the radio.
but it looks like you're so proud of yourself
Yes.
and pleased. You're like, I'm on the radio.
Like you have a little tiara on or something. Like that's what I imagine.
But it's like, I know you don't feel like that. You
No. I think it's more so like when I'm embarrassed in a situation and like I'm like, God, because I don't want them to be like, oh, how crazy. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. I just get so awkward. I'm just like,
you're like, I'm on the radio. But like what happens ultimately is that like often a lot, you'll tell someone that, oh, you're a radio personality, and then they don't know what that means. So you're
Right.
like, they're like, well, what? You do a show? And I'm like, yeah, so I do a morning show where we play music, but we also talk about life and relationships and crazy stuff. And then they're like, huh, well, I don't listen to the radio, but
I
that's
hate-
cool.
Hate.
And
when
I'm
people
like,
say that.
okay. Well, that's fine. I'm like, you could also actually download the iHeartRadio app. Then I feel like I'm getting into selling, and I'm just like, well, you could download the iHeartRadio app if you want to find us, and like we have it all broken down if you wanted to. And they're like, okay. I'm like, no, you're not going to.
No.
But that's fine.
Like, I'll just go fuck myself now. So
That literally, I'm gonna start saying that. When people tell me I don't listen to the radio, okay, well, let me go fuck myself.
I would never, but I want to. Like in my head, I'm gonna say it. I guess I should just go fuck myself then,
yeah.
and then just walk away.
I'm gonna do it. That's so rude.
Oh my gosh.
I think I would like to see you do that, and then I'd be like,
You'd be like, oh.
I'll be like, I just shrug, and then I would walk away too.
Well.
Well, sorry.
But yeah, so it was a good time after the surprise party. Then we went to the grocery store, and I just felt like everybody in Charlotte yesterday was just on one. Like everyone was just lethargic and slow. And so we went to Harris Teeter in Plaza Midwood, and just the homegirl, I think she was just maybe hungover or just like on the struggle bus. And so I felt like every time she picked up an item to scan, it was like a beep.
Oh my God, why is it taking so long?
And so then Abe and I are just like looking at her like,
hey,
Get to it.
So I was like, girl, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know what's happening on this Sunday, but everybody was just moving at a snail's pace yesterday.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
uncomfortable.
At Harris Teeter, there was a guy in gray sweatpants who looked like he had a water bottle in his pants. And I was like, you were in public,
My favorite.
sir.
My favorite.
Like, and this
Sir.
wasn't like there's just like a little bit of a bulge. It was like you could see everything. And he was with his girlfriend, and I was like, did you not see your boyfriend's thing just swinging?
Maybe not.
I call out
mean,
Oscar every single time.
I don't know because but she probably did see. But then it's also like uncomfortable. Like if I ever notice that I can see my fiance's junk, if I know that if I point it out, he's gonna get embarrassed. And then I'm like, he's like, what am I supposed to do with it? I'm like, I don't know. You're the dude. You've been duding for 40 years now. I mean, I
Wrap
don't
it
know.
around your waist or something. Like, what the
Does
fuck?
it go tuck behind? Like, can you shove it up?
Tuck it in between.
Mashed in?
Do like a drag queen and just, get some
Tape.
duct tape and tape it back up in there,
I
girl.
don't know if he wants to be tucking with tape, but like, that's the thing. I don't know. To the straight women, what do you tell your straight men's if they got that situation going on?
Well,
I don't know.
And I'm like, also too, I wonder if, because like obviously, like, you know how like straight men will always look at women's boobs, whereas like I feel like gay men a lot of times, not all, but a lot,
Yeah.
You know, we sort of look down there first, then look up. And so I feel like women probably don't do that a whole lot.
I don't ever do. I literally never do it. That's why I'm like, I don't even notice when my fiance does it, to be honest with you, unless it's like casually, oh, wow. But I don't do it on purpose. It just happens.
I always look. That's like the first, and like I really try not to, because obviously I feel like it could be demeaning, but it's just like, you're over years of just doing it. That's just where your eyes go to first. And so I really
Is
try.
that an excuse, really?
No,
Is that your excuse?
No,
That's
it's not
your
really an
excuse.
excuse. It just is what it is.
You're
You
like,
got that dog in you.
yes, because you're trying to justify it. You're like, it's just after years of doing it, I just do it.
It happens. So it's just like,
I feel like you might as well in the 1950s be like, I just been slapping my secretary's ass every day. I've been doing it the whole time. What am I supposed to not do it?
well, I mean,
Say
especially
that.
when you see some gray sweatpants and you're like, well, let's just go see what this is about. Oh,
No, when you have sunglasses on
ooh, then you can just look everything.
anywhere. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, you left yours at my place.
Thank you. I was looking for them.
Yeah.
I was wondering where they were.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, so that was an exciting time at Harris Teeter yesterday. And then we went to, and I made chicken piccata for dinner last night. So we had a nice little Sunday. Anybody have anything else?
Oh, I did want to mention, of course, Taylor Swift dropped the album. And I did my best to listen. I did not literally listen to the whole thing, but I listened to most of it. And there were some things that I listened to several times in a row, and I thought it was really good. I don't know if it's my favorite album. I don't know if it's the best album. I don't think it's album of the year, but I think it was such a necessary cathartic puking of emotions that she needed to do. And I think if you've been in any type of heartbreak situation, you're going to connect with at least some songs or another. And so it was real. I said this on the air too. I just found it really shocking because I saw it just inundating social media, all of everyone's takes, whether they be like regular takes, hot takes, whatever. Lack of reading comprehension and like critical thinking skills and like understanding how to decode poetry. We are like not doing well as a society. Like truly, we're not the best at that sort of thing necessarily. But I thought it was just a really great thing for her to get off of her chest. Everyone, for some reason, saying they thought it was going to be more about Joe, but it turned out to be more about Maddie Healy. And I'm like, of course it was. Of course it was. Because by the time you get out of a 6-year relationship, you have said goodbye. Like
you've worked through your issues.
You don't feel pain anymore. You're done. It has run its course. But like that 5-6 month situationship or whatever that comes right on the heels of a long-term relationship, that will kill you. That is a killer. That is devastating. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, of course it's about that. I feel like it might have been a lot of the younger people that didn't understand why that would be the case, but it's a pretty common theme. Like I've had that happen to me.
Right.
That happened to me in my personal life. I'm seeing a lot of people that were like, oh my God, yes, that is a thing that happens. Because you put like all the wishes and hopes you wanted from the long-term relationship, like all into this new one. Because you think that's how it's going to be that easy. And it's not. So I appreciated the album. It serves its purpose. And I'm glad she can go move on with her new man.
Yeah, I would say it's not one of my favorites, but I do enjoy it. And I think it's nice to listen to. But it's like not for me like a weekend thing I'm gonna put on as we're like getting ready for Friday or Saturday night.
It's like a folklore part 2.
Yes,
yeah,
kind of like that, but
100%.
just it's very heart. It's all those deep, difficult emotions. And my friend Erin was like, I listened to it, but I'm not gonna re-listen to it because she's like, I'm not in that phase.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's
100%.
fine.
Yeah,
but if you're not sitting in heartbreak right now, maybe you don't want to delve into it, and that's okay. But it's helpful to those that might need it to get through.
Producer Kelvin, what's your social media people can look at you?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Holla.
Radio Holly, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Be Real, and Peloton. We will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.
Miguel